welcome to Jared Wright Music. And as promised, we're going to be kicking this off today. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review. Not going to be playing anything for you guys today, but Rouge guitars. Are these actually worth buying? That is going to be the big question today, and is going to be a question that if you're thinking about buying your first guitar, these are not a bad guitar to start with. But all that being said, we'll get into this good stuff about this guitar first. First thing about these Rouges, or Rogue, you can say them either way, kind of like the Nissan Rogue, yes, but these, we'll just call it Rogue because I know a lot of people don't like saying Rouge. But these Rogues, first off, they are a pretty decent branded guitar. Now, the one I'm holding right here, it does have the onboard electronics, and yes, it does plug into an amp. For those of you out there that don't play guitar, that just means that I can plug into an amp, I can play it during a show, I can play it live. Now, the biggest thing about this guitar, though, is the price point. Get this guitar for about 80 bucks. They've gone up some now. Back when I got this as just a solely songwriter guitar and to kind of take her out campfires and jam out with, that type of thing. Because of the price point, it's not really a guitar I'm too worried about getting tore up or beat up. And I'll admit, I'm pretty hard on my instruments. I'm pretty hard on my guitars. I play a little bit too hard, I'm sure. But the big thing is that is a Rogue guitar worth buying? Yes, it is, especially if you're a beginner. All of you beginner guitar players out there, here's the big thing. Look into these, especially if you don't have a lot of money. Now, a lot of people will tell you, well, buy a decent guitar, don't get one that's at least, 150 or 200 bucks, which the way prices are rising now, this guitar probably is going to cost you about anywhere between 120 and 140. But you guys, at the end of the day, though, the guitar picks you. You don't really pick the guitar. And what I mean by that is kind of like in Harry Potter, whenever he has those scenes there, though, and they're trying to fit him to his wand, but his wand actually picks him because it's the brother to Voldemort's wand. So what I mean, though, is that if you go in and you pick up a guitar, and if you don't know how to play, you go in and pick it up, run your hand down the neck, and guys, you will know right away if it's something that you like or not. If it's putting your hand in a bind, then it's not for you. And by all means, if you go to a place like Guitar Center, which is a great place, there's a lot of great music stores out there. You just don't have to shop at Guitar Center. But Guitar Center is a great place. They have helpful people in there. What I like about Guitar Center is that everybody in there is also a musician, along with a salesman. Now, I will tell you this, though. Be careful, because they will try to upsell you on stuff. They do work on some commission basis. If you're going to sell a guitar, don't really recommend going to Guitar Center. They're only going to give you about 60% of what it's actually worth, because they're going to try to pre-sell it and make money off of it. But as far as buying gear and buying used gear, it's a pretty good place to go to. Now, I would suggest that you buy everything new. That's just my personal preference. Unless if you just get a really good deal off of somebody. But if you don't know what you're bugging at when it comes to guitars, get an opinion of somebody that actually knows what to look for. Is the neck cracked? Are the tuners going to stay in tune? Is it damaged anywhere? Is it fractured, cracked? Has it been exposed to heat? That is the other thing, guys. Make sure that your guitars are stored in a place to where the temperatures are consistent. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, because they do dry out, they do crack, and other things do tend to start happening with them if they do that. They need to be humidified to a certain point, so to speak. Now, Rouge guitars. Yes, I would recommend you buy, and no, I kind of wouldn't recommend it, and here's the reasons why. One's the price point. Two, this guitar's been pretty good for what I need it for. This guitar's getting age on it now, though. And here's the reason why I wouldn't suggest it. Now that this guitar's getting age on it, I've had this guitar now for about 6 years, and it honestly is just starting to kind of fall apart now. And again, I don't use it all the time, but the songs I've wrote with it and just the various things is not something that should be happening this soon, and it will not stay in tune very good at all, guys. I mean, you're talking about I mean, just basic strumming. Just basic strumming is a nightmare on this thing sometimes because the tuners, the strings, it just becomes a whole other mess. So if you have the money, my recommendation is you go out and get something like what I'm going to show you in the next video, my Martin X series, the most expensive guitar I own, because I'm kind of cheap whenever it comes to stuff, but I do like quality. So Rouge guitars, great if you're a beginner, not so great if you're somebody that knows even a little bit about gear and you really want to play on stage. I recommend you get something a little bit better. I'm going over some of the guitars in my collection. I don't have near as many as I used to. I used to have about 26. Now I'm down to about 18. So at the end of the day, though, guys, again, the guitar picks you. You don't pick the guitar. And once you pick one up, you'll understand exactly what I mean. God bless each and every one of you. I'm Jared Wright, and this has been Jared Wright Music.